Okay, so let's just take a look at how this graph is set up first. First of all, it has a title, which is actually kind of long. Average time spent playing video or board games on an average day by an average American. So that's pretty all-encompassing. It gives us a really good idea of what this graph is about. Down in the x-axis, I see a number here, 2016, a number there, 2003. I'm assuming that this is whatever year it is. It would be more appropriate if they actually wrote that out. I think they just assume that we understand that, but this is how the world works when you open a newspaper or magazine or an internet article. A lot of times people just kind of do it their way. Similarly, on the y-axis, I mean, I see 0, 5, 10, 15, and then finally at the top it says 20 minutes. So now I'm going to assume that this is actually a time. And so the best way to do this would be to put the word time here and then put the unit in parentheses like we were talking about. But again, not everybody does things properly, even in the real world. But the actual information on the graph or the data, it shows men and women and then the total. So we have basically the amount of minutes that men have been spending on gaming and then women, and then the total, meaning if you combine kind of men and women together as one big group and then average it out. So what are you seeing here? Well, some of what we talked about in terms of the line shape, slope. Let's talk about slope. Remember, you have the kind of the slope that goes up or positive. We have a slope that goes down, which is negative. And then you might have a situation where there's no slope at all, where it's kind of a flat line. Well, clearly these ones are going up as they go to the right. So as you go across the x-axis, each of the lines kind of goes up. And there are little wiggles and variations, but in general, from start to finish, they go up all the way. So I'm seeing an increase in the amount of time men are spending, the amount of time women are spending, and then the total also is also going up. So the one thing you have to notice, though, is if you pick any point on this graph, I'm going to use a red dot and just put it here. Actually, let's use an actual year so that we can see. So this would be 2004, 5, 6. Let's say 7, 2007, right there. Now, if you go over and read how many minutes that women were spending on gaming that year, it's, 7 or 8 minutes, something like that. But if you do the same thing, same year, 2007, and for men, you go over, that's almost 15, but about 14 minutes. So what we're seeing here is that men are always spending more time than women at gaming. So that's kind of an interesting thing you might pick from this graph.